Shannon Fisher.
Good evening. My name is Shannon Fisher. I've been an elementary school teacher for over 22 years. I've been truly saddened by the events that have unfolded here at Lincoln Way School District over the last year. Bear with me here for just a moment as I relay what I feel is an ironic and profound connection to the history that I teach in my own classroom. Social studies may not always be the favorite subject of some students. With that said, I love history and always try to find meaningful ways to help kids understand why we study history and then connect it to the current events. Of course, I, as many teachers do, start with the idea that we need to learn about historical events as they can help us to learn lessons that will impact our future. I really believe this. And as we have studied the American Revolution this year, I'm astounded at the similarities between the Revolution and the current play here in Lincoln Way 210. So at first, early colonists felt that Parliament represented their interests and made decisions on their behalf. Everything was going relatively well until the colonists began to question the wisdom of Parliament. We also thought the school board members represented the citizens of our community. We depended on you to be a voice for the people and work on behalf of the students and taxpayers of this district. We expected you would listen to and respond to our concerns. We expected that our tax dollars were being managed and spent properly. Unfortunately, all of the above did not happen. And when questioned by their constituents, some board members refused to speak to the community or respond to their written questions or concerns. During revolutionary times, the colonists like us continued to lobby Parliament. The First and Second Continental Congress met to try to resolve this issue before it morphed into something larger. They sent letters of correspondence to the king, asking him to listen and work with the colonists. Eventually, they sent what is known as the Olive Branch Petition, beseeching the king to please respond so as escalation would not continue. Ironically, the king refused to read the petition. Today, members of the community have asked to meet with the board to resolve this conflict. Community members have written and called board members and the superintendent asking for answers and extending a modern olive branch to bridge this divide. Community members presented a petition to the board last fall asking for a forensic audit that was agreed to but never carried out. In both of these scenarios, the will of the people was ignored. Thus, during revolutionary times, a militia formed, made up of farmers, shopkeepers, your average citizens. Now, a small army, as some might reference, made up of electricians, teachers, accountants, small business owners, and nurses, to just name a few. Then, a shot heard round the world, which led to a fierce war. Now, the sound of rally cries leading to a more modern court battle. We know how the revolution ended, and I'm sure you think you know how this will end too. However, just like the king, you have underestimated the will of the people. He too thought a ragtag militia could not have any impact on the well-trained redcoats. Today, this so-called army of a few is growing, and every day more people are waking up to this indifference and beginning to question what is going on here. Oh, it's not just a few people on the east side of 210. This is a slow-moving call to action across our country right now. People are unhappy with their local and national governments. Groups such as Black Lives Matter, Citizens for Tinley Park, and LWATU are examples of people coming together to work towards positive changes. This modern call to question government will not end here. As Thomas Jefferson once said, every generation needs their own revolution. This can end differently. Listen and respond to the people who elected you. Tell us how you will work to be more transparent. The battle in court can end right now. As I made my point at the beginning, we can learn from history. We can choose not to make the same mistakes. You do have choices. You can. No, we all can make a difference here. And what is the greatest lesson learned here? The takeaway for our children. They have watched a group of citizens come together, build a coalition to educate the community, challenge the status quo in the district, petition and rally peaceably, bringing their concerns all the way to the judicial courts because it was their only choice. They have observed that yes, we can question the wisdom of government officials, the people elected to represent us, They are not perfect, they are not always right, but at the very least they have seen that in the face of opposition we have persevered. We stood up for what was right. This may be a simplification of the revolution, but to its modern comparison. But I say to you, history is not just a set of names, dates, and places. It truly is the lessons learned, the themes, so to speak. There is a message here. We can work together as a community to build a transparent school board that listens and responds to its constituents. You can change what has happened here. You have the power to do what is right.
Thank you.
Please do so.